Okay, hello. Um, Harold Hill, aka Galoot. It's the week 21 training update for Crazy Mountain 100, which is now 1, 2, 15, 16, 17, 18 days away. 18 days. So most of us are coming either into our biggest week of training or hoping to come into our biggest week of training. Some of us may have their biggest week of training and this be it this week and have a 3-week form of a taper, which is great. Hopefully you found what works for you and you're accomplishing your goals of what you're doing. I myself, I came up to Pisgah National Forest. I'm here in Brevard, North Carolina. My friends have a house and they've graciously let me crash here. And we drove all around and did a bunch of other things. And I've been waking up early every day. I've been here since Wednesday evening. And it's now Sunday. So over here, the July 4th weekend. And my week's gone absolutely amazing. It has really boosted my confidence. I got out here and did all the things that I've wanted to do and controlled the things that I can, and got some advice on some other functionality issues that are still arising. They're just little things. Everything seems to be working. I've passed the wedding ring test all week. I haven't gotten too puffy that I couldn't get my ring off. My eating and drinking and hydration's been really well. My salt intake's been really well. I have been eating probably 1 billion calories every day. It's just ridiculous. I'm just constantly eating. Every 2 hours it seems like I'm having like 600 calories of food. So I've been also watching and making sure that the food I'm intaking is of a high, good quality food. So that I'm not getting junky stuff set up in my system and having something go wrong. It's been a wild week, man. The weather's been absolutely beautiful. Right now we're at, I think we're at 2,300 feet, 2,400 feet is Brevard. Almost all of my training's been 3,000 feet plus. I've been as high as 6215, which is the top of the Art Loeb Trail, where the Art Loeb marker is. And I crossed over 2 other peaks that were 6,100 and 6,200. So I've been up. I've gotten hours and hours of training above 6,000 feet, and you can coming from 450 feet, 6,000. You do notice a difference, and it's been a good difference. I can feel like that effect of elevation on me before I get out to 8 and 10 and almost 10,000 feet. I know that's going to be awfully different, and that's fine, but you get a taste of, okay, this effort level is this time and this volume of bodily function. So that's been nice to feel and get well trained in. We'll break down my week. I did a functional workout on Monday, same workout I did last week with my training friend. Wi-Fi went in and did the exact same routine at the studio, and noticed that the little glute muscle that had gotten turned on the other week had re-engaged and was a little sore. So it's baby glute muscles coming along. And I can notice it this week that it's by far not caught up, and it will not catch up in the next 3 weeks, 18 days. So some of that functionality is going to have to be addressed by some other issues like the hamstring and whatnot. I've gotten some advice on how to reactivate things when this begins to happen during the race, because I'm 100% this is going to happen during the race. So hopefully I have the tools with me to be prepared for when that does occur. I was off Tuesday, worked and prepped on, our trip that's coming up really soon. We leave on Thursday this coming week, which only gives me 3 days at home, and I've got to be at work getting a lot of things done the next 2 days, Monday and Tuesday at least. So spent a lot of Tuesday and the last weekend prepping as much as we can to get ready to leave. I woke up Wednesday morning and went for a 8-mile run that was just, man, I think this was the first run where I was like, I really just don't want to do this. Why am I trying to do this? It's 74 degrees at 6:30 in the morning and 90% humidity. So why am I out here doing this? It just felt horrid. And then, like an idiot, I'm leaving to go do a run. I packed enough liquid. I packed absolutely no food. Nothing to eat while I'm out for almost 2 hours. And I'm like, good Lord, man. Okay, mistakes happen. And then I started just like, oh my gosh, really? I don't have any food. What's the rest of the day going to be like? How's this going to affect the rest of the week? What am I going to do to recover from this? So luckily, I always have a after workout snack, usually a banana or some little piece of fruit or something homemade that we make. And then I always have my protein shake. So at least I had that as soon as I got back to the car. So it wasn't like I was going to die, but in my mind, I'm draining all the resources that I've been building up. And now I'm using those for no reason than to get in some 8-mile run in disgusting weather. Like half an hour in, every pore of me is completely pouring out sweat. So then I did a 4.5 hour, it's 4.5 hours out here, which means 5 hours when you stop. It was a little longer because I stopped and talked to my friend, and the 2 people I'm with here, they stopped in Black Mountain to see our friend who just finished Western States and is off later this coming week to go do Hard Rock. He finally got, after like 8 years of being in the lottery, he got pulled for both. So he said he's feeling good. He's gonna try to just finish Hard Rock under 48. That's his goal. So cheers to him. We got here, I got all my stuff sorted because I was leaving really early in the morning, Thursday morning, to go do my longest run of the weekend here. And it was an expected very long run. I had it's set on the route that it's 24.7 miles. And the route, I know some of these trails around here, and it's a lot of elevation. So it's, the first climb is nearly 4 miles. So there's literally an hour and 15 minutes of nothing but climb on technical trail. I missed a turn, looked right at the sign, and I'd been stopping at all the signs to make sure and checking on my phone to make sure, yep, I'm on trail, I'm on my route, it's all going good. I totally looked at this little trail sign out there in the middle of nowhere national forest, and yeah, wow, cool, yeah, that looks like a very unused trail. Kept on going. And from that trail, you go up this 600-foot climb over Rich Mountain, and then down nearly, I think it's 780, almost 800 feet down the other side to the next saddle. I get down to the next saddle, check my phones because it's a big four-way intersection. There's a Avery Creek Road goes across, and I know where that goes to on both ends. So I check to make sure, yeah, I believe I'm just going straight through, or I should be turning right sometime. I check my phone, and you know, my dot's here and my turn's back here. Well, there's a nearly 800-foot climb and then a 600-foot descent, and that's over pretty much 2 miles, because I went a mile to get to where I am now, and then I have to go a mile back to the other side. So ta-da. So I turn around, I don't freak out. I'm like, okay, just hike back up this hill like you normally would. You know, the downhill on that side is gonna be joggable, so just jog that downhill. No need to get in a rush. We're out here doing a training run. Don't worry about the 3 extra miles. I've got, you know, my water filter, I'm filtering water. We'll get to that in a minute. So I get back on my trail. So I'm headed down the mountainside. It's a good long 1,200-foot descent down some single track, old logging road, but it's a single track trail on this road, old logging road. And I know that there's a creek down at the bottom, and this is where I'm going to fill up, because that means I shouldn't have to, I might have to fill up one more time, and that should only be like maybe a liter if I'm going a little slow, so I don't even have to fill up a lot. But I got to do, my pack's completely empty. That's 2 liters, 2 bottles up front, that's 3 liters, and the reserve bottle, which is my filtered water bottle. So I get down there, start uncapping everything. You know, I get this filled with the drink mix, squeeze, fill back up, squeeze a little bit more, full, you know, do the next one the same way, get my bladder out, squeeze. Yeah. It took 5 fills of the ½ liter because the filter takes up a little bit of that volume. So it was 5 squeezes to fill up the 2 liters of water. It took, how long did I say it took? It took 11 minutes. Yeah, it took 11 minutes for me to fill all that up. So I felt pretty good about that amount of time, filling up that amount of liquid. That was quite a chore. Luckily, I had a really nice place to sit, easy flowing, quick water, so I didn't have to wait for it to fill up. It was filled up immediately. So watered all up. I put some more nutrition back in my pockets in the front, and continued on. I got a nice little loop in the place called Pink Beds. It's relatively pretty much flat, and it's wide. It's a wide gravel-ish road. And then some of it up by the parking lots, like really nicely cambered, and everything else is, you know, nice granite grit stuff. So beautiful boardwalks and whatnot. Back up to the top, back up Rich Mountain, going down this descent, and get down the descent, get onto the correct trail again, keep on going down, and now I'm 6.5 hours in, and I've done 22 miles or something like that. I know I've got like 4.5 more to go. I may be almost, yeah, it's about 6.5 hours, and I got like 4 plus to go. And most all of that's on descent, but it's massive drops. It's half of this descent's mountain bike set up so they don't care that there's a slopey V that's this wide for you to land in, and drops that are, you know, knee high. There's no steps, there's no stairs, there's no rock abutments that you can work through. It's just big, long drops and wide course and massive rock features that you're going down. I mean, rock features. It's just the mountain rock. So yeah, you get to go down that. So it's not a fast descent. And I'm continuing on, going down there, you know. I know I'm getting to my last place to fill up. I know that there's a creek up here, and I'm just about out, and I've got like another hour left to go, I'm guessing. So I just filled up, you know, 2 more bottles real quick, and had like a half a liter left in my water pack. So I had 2 electrolytes and a half liter in the water pack. I'll give a shout out to Solomon, the Solomon filter, collapsible. You know, it looks just like the regular Solomon tube ones, but with a filter in it. It works amazing. Picked up the trick of removed the nipple and the little like 4-way closure that the nipple pull that crap out, and it goes out as fast as you can squeeze it almost. Instead of trying to hold the nipple and squeeze, and then it only comes out a stream. You get a full stream out. That was a really good tip that I picked up. And now hopefully you can pick it up too. So I get back down to Avery Road, and there's a beautiful creek down there. I am hot, sweaty, disgustingly dirty. So I just take my pack off. I got my chapstick and all my trash out on my hike down, and I go plunk down into the creek up to here. And my damn Hokas are so freaking big, the speed goats. It was hard to keep my legs down because the shoes literally went. So if you ever need, you know, oh, I don't need to wear a life jacket, I'll just wear a large pair of Hokas. They'll just float right to the damn top. It was hilarious. I'd like try to put my feet back right back up, so I just let them stay up, and I kind of halfway floated there in the creek. And then started hiking back. I had like a mile and a half, 2 miles left. So I finished that hike up, and I'm like almost completely dry. I'm not sweating like, you know, a sweaty, nasty mess anymore, because my body temp's cooled down. Got finished, and I had 27.8 miles in 7 hours and like 40 minutes or something, 42 minutes, which is on pace for 2 of the sections in the race that I'll do. So it was good to see what that felt like. And, you know, I was out there by myself doing everything by myself, which we're all going to have to do that. So it was really good. Like, this is what my race is going to feel like. And it especially was a lot like my race is going to feel like, because that day had 10,000 feet of vertical gain. And honestly, I felt like it wasn't a significant ask of what I had in me to do that. I mean, yes, I'm a little sore. I felt a little beat up, but there was nothing that said, you went too hard, you put too much out there, you know, you need to take the day off tomorrow, all those things. Like, it just, I was incredibly elated of how I felt. Like, all those damn weightlifting workouts and all those other damn functionality workouts that I've been doing have really paid off, and you could tell it on that run. Next day I decided to go up to the Blue Ridge Parkway on Friday. I got up there at like 6:45. Just saw the sun rising over some of the Blue Ridge Mountains off to the southeast, and oh my gosh, absolutely incredible morning. Nice and cool. Start off and you run down for forever. It's a 14-mile loop up through some really technical single track. I went up a climb once I got down into the wilderness area and crossed this river, and you follow the creek that goes all the way, it just goes up. Bridge Camp Gap Trail. I have never been on a climb of that steepness and that technical ever. And I've climbed mountains out at Mount Mitchell, trails at Mount Mitchell, and they're just insane there. This, like, I've never witnessed anything like it. It was a 1,700 foot in 1.8 mile, in 2.3 miles. It took me an hour. Straight up, it took me an hour. Like, just unforgivingly steep, and there's no footfall that's the same. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, nobody else, even though it's the 4th of July weekend, no one else may come on this trail today. Like, if I screw up here, I'm by myself. There's no freaking cell coverage until you get to the top 200 feet of this mountain. Like, do not screw up. So I was taking a little slower, making sure that everything was good, and I wasn't going to be out here for, who knows, 6 hours before my friends go, hey, he's missing, he should be here, and somebody comes looking for my ass. And then I've been running through, like, briars that are 5 foot tall, and they're coming like this. I put on the shortest socks that I freaking own. They just came over the ankle like this much. I didn't have my full length hiking sock, which comes up to at least your calf. My legs are shredded. My arms are cut. I got several pulls on my shirt and my pack, and just holding your poles out, and you can't see your feet. You're just putting your feet down like you're running in a water bed. You're assuming something's there, and you'll adjust yourself when your foot hits it. I probably did that style of moving at least probably 2.5 miles. We just can't see your feet. It's just growth right to here. It made it a little slower than average, because it's a technical trail. It's hard to see. It's a wilderness area, so there's a lot of little side trails that'll go over here where a couple people thought, oh, maybe the trail goes here. So you really have to pay attention, to the map and make sure you're on the trail or not far. You're following a path that, like, is part of the trail path somewhere. Oh. And then you hit the Art Loeb Trail, and it's like big open balds. There's no more trees. And you start to see lots of people there. So I finished that day. It was 3,200 feet of elevation. I had to fully filter water once, because that took, what was that? 4.5, I think that was 4.5 hours, 4 hours, 45 minutes to do 14 miles basically. I mean, just wow. It wakes you up when it gets hard. This is what you're doing. It's it. Like, it's just damn hard. And then yesterday was a rest day. I put it as whatever. We went out on a hike with our friends. It was a very easy at 800 feet. It was back up at the Blue Ridge out the Devil's Courthouse. We took an ungodly amount of time. You know, we sat at the end of this. It was an out and back. We sat at the end of the Devil's Courthouse looking for a half an hour. You know, I brought a peach gelée with me that I bought that morning. So very casual, just nice to let the body move and flow a little bit. Came back home and did a solid 40 minutes of yoga practice and stretching. So what else was it? Oh, and then today chose a gravel road that's closed on one end and open on the other, but like there's nobody that goes back and forth on this gravel road a lot, especially early in the morning. I got a good late start. You know, I didn't get there until 8 o'clock, 10 after, maybe 10 till 8, 10 after 8 or something like that. Anyway, it was just it goes up, then kind of you're on this flattish, ridgy-ish line, then it goes down. You know, they had just regraded everything. Most of it was re-graveled. Some sections it was just the first grade. So it was a beautifully put old logging road that they've maintained over the decades. Turned around at 5 miles in an hour and 15 minutes. And, you know, did the light jog run back, you know, trying to run up the hills as much as I could. And then try to run as much as I could on the downhill. And, you know, don't push anything. Don't get the heart rate excited. Eat, drink, you know, blah, blah, blah. Stop, go pee because you're pounding down the hill and you've like probably gained 400 pounds of water weight over the week. And made it back 15 minutes faster than I went up. So I thought that was great. Felt really good about that. So, and feel just fine. Like my Achilles was a little tight on the way down. You know, is it the end of a long punchy week? Probably so. I'll just give my Achilles a little bit of a rest, and it could all be connected to my weak glute, to the weak hamstring that's affecting something in the calf that, you know, yeah, there's always just a hole in your butt somewhere. So with that said, I got 63.7 miles in this week. I did 15,670 feet of elevation in 20.3 hours. And I'm up to 807.5 miles of training. And that's the end of week 21. This has been a long post. Yeah, I'm gonna lose a shit ton of people because it's just so long. It was a long week. I've got here, I feel really satisfied. I feel really thankful that I have amazing friends, amazing people who, you know, want me to succeed, and the wildlessly doesn't care about crazy ideas, lets me go out and do this a week before we're supposed to leave on a massive trip to get to where I'm supposed to be going. My wife is just incredible. I can't do any of this without her support and her kindness and her ability to, you know, help us cook and eat healthy and, you know, do all this beautiful stuff that we get to do. So I've really appreciated all the flowers, the couple pieces of wildlife that I saw, the one piece of wildlife I didn't see, but had the hair on the back of my neck stand up before I realized anything. That was a weird time. Held together through the wrong turn incident and got good preparation for this race coming up. So with that, please follow, like, subscribe. Heck, I don't know. I'm going to be posting on our way back out there. Montana, we leave the 10th. And then I plan on doing a run at a state park we're staying at in West Virginia. Probably gonna run, they have a half marathon course. I found the course, so we're gonna run that. And then I got a 10 and a 14 to run. And that's kind of like my modified early taper, but enough to keep you going pretty good. And the next week's similarly the same, except I peter out by Thursday. And then I'm done basically. I have a 6 mile run on Sunday. That's it. And then probably one little shakeout run somewhere when we're in Bozeman on Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably do 4 miles or something. We'll do a little hiking in between here and there too. So. There we go, people. Thank you so much. We got this. Let's do it. Good job, everybody. Stay strong. Peace out.